Are you falling for the biggest golf equipment myths that are not helping your golf game and emptying your wallet? In this video, I'm breaking down the top 5 golf equipment myths that golfers constantly believe, but need to stop now. Whether you're wondering what golf clubs to buy, if expensive drivers are really any better, or if hybrids are just for high handicappers, we're diving deep into golf equipment truths that you actually need to know. Hit the subscribe button while you're down there. Again, make sure you smash the like button, really helps the video. Question for today in the comments down below: what's the last bit of golf equipment you actually bought? Let me know down there. New clubs will not fix your swing. Nothing replaces really technique change. Often what new clubs do is they kind of act as a bit of a band-aid a little bit to helping you feel slightly different for a period of time. But what we notice from people who wax lyrical about new clubs that they've fixed something remarkable, oh, this new wedge is sticking it close, is that they're often the people who have a new driver, a new set of irons, new putter, new wedges, whatever, every week, because it's like a band-aid. So what happens is we see a honeymoon period. We see a period where golfers are explaining how much better everything is because of whatever new bit of equipment that they've got. But what happens is that band-aid just rips off in time. Oh, I need a new putter. Because we all regress back to where we are. Now look, I'm not saying the golf equipment can't help, it can. Well-fit clubs to you and your patterns and how often you play can absolutely make some levels of advantage, but they are not going to change your swing. Your swing generally is going to be up to you to improve. Looking for cheap fixes just because you get a new club is the golf equipment myth many fall for. Many amateurs think data is irrelevant for them, not really needed, they can't use it. I don't agree. Launch monitors have changed. I mean, this is a launch monitor, and I have full reviews of all launch monitors at different prices, which I'll link at the end of this video. Launch monitors nowadays can be as cheap as around £250, which will allow you to dial things in like wedge shots. So I could stand in a net at my golf club warming up, dial in some distances with my club. Certainly wedges would be so easy, like you don't even need to hit balls down a range with a launch monitor like this. 91 yards, I've practiced warming up in the range. I feel like I've dialed that number in either in the net or at the range. I can come on the course now and quantify that with shots that go pin high. Little right, but pin high. That was 86 yards. You can see it's gone 84 yards. And I'm basically making myself more efficient. So I'm ready to get on the course and start hitting distances. How many of you go out on the course, get a wedge on the first and drop it 20 yards short or 20 yards long? Oh, I haven't practiced all week. I've got to find my distances. You could do that with really cheap launch monitors. Now, you get more expensive ones, which we see in my videos. You'll see Bryson putting down a quad at every hole. That's extreme. They're a lot of money. Treat yourself. That's going to give you everything you need to know. But launch monitors nowadays are for everybody who just want to get really dialed in with distances, understand ball speeds, maybe even find out some club paths with some slightly more expensive ones, and start training with some real purpose. Now this one is such a misunderstood, constantly still to today, myth. Unfortunately, the truth when it comes to shaft is it's complex and so player specific. Nice little categories is basically something that the manufacturers did to try and sell you product. It's easier to sell product when the message is simple. Think of politics. It's much easier to have the simple debate, it's them people or what have you, rather than why is it certain issues. And that's exactly the point with shafts. Getting shafts that you like the feel of, that help you deliver the club in a certain way, subject to how you pull on the club at certain times, what speed you get out at certain times, because you've got to remember your grip speed is moving at different speeds throughout the whole swing. So it's picking up speed, slows down, picks up speed, slows down, but for amateurs that doesn't happen the same as pros. And different golfers, you can put the same shaft in their hand, give them the same, they've got the same club head speed, similar deliveries, but they will feel very different in their hands. The other thing that people get really bogged down is thinking shaft's the answer. It's not. It's a tiny part of what makes a club maybe perform better for you or not. Thinking that it's literally just about speed to flex is a great selling tool, like such a good selling tool, because it simplifies a very complex question, which for selling, if people buy into that, which people still are to this day, got ya, sold, easy sale. This has become more of a question I definitely get more from newer golfers than experienced, where some of these other points are definitely for every range of golfer that I see. But hybrids nowadays are just so versatile. And as always, the important question with hybrids is, does it suit the way you deliver the club or play the game? They've got to suit your style of golf. The versatility that these bring from playing from a nice fairway lie where we've got to get over some trees, compared to a sat down lie where we can skirt it around the trees, maybe even get over, is just huge. And it's this versatility you should be buying into. Remember, your golf clubs are not an ego-based decision. They need to be a functionality-based decision. Two players of equal standard might not have the same equipment. Two players of very contrasting abilities absolutely could have similar equipment, subject to what they want to see, how often they play out the rough, what kind of launches. You've got to remember, a hybrid's got better chance of launching a little higher, maybe better descent angle, and stopping on greens on those long shots. Cool, that's good from that lie. The quicker you get your ego out of your golf clubs, the better player you'll be. This one is interesting, because where the answer for this question is preposterous, that expensive is better, there's also a good argument that more expensive in some cases actually might be better. So I want you to help me and us watching decide the answer to this question. So example one, the golf ball, definitely the higher priced, more pro-like performance golf balls are more consistent and arguably better in many situations. The discussion comes down to more, will you find that benefit over time? You would. If we just take you out into a practice area and compare both balls, you're going to find it really hard to see a difference. But over time, you absolutely will. Short-sided shots, better balls are going to give you a better chance of stopping the golf ball on the green, where the cheaper balls just will not. Again, in the comments, come on, fire back. If you don't agree, believe, let me know in the comments. If we take iron sets, are more expensive better? Well, no, but with more expensive iron sets, you tend to get more options. So if custom fit is something you believe in and that can help your golf, you often can't get that from the cheaper iron sets. You need to go to the more expensive manufacturers. So are the clubs better? Well, they're better served to you. But again, you can play great golf with a box set, a cheap set, and totally enjoy it. Better wedges. Well, again, you're getting more options, lofts, bounce, grip changes, shaft changes, head shapes. You're getting variations that might suit into what you want to look at. But again, if you don't care what you look at, cheaper's gonna do a job. You might also get better materials that last longer, better tolerances on faces that deliver more spin, but again, you're paying more for all that. It's about how much you value that. Putters that you don't always need, same thing, you're getting more options, different shaft lengths, different grips, different head shapes, different weights. Can a cheap putter work? Absolutely. I've used a cheap putter all my life, as well as expensive ones all my life, mixes of, and my pattern's up to me. There's a pattern forming, isn't there? And guess what? Driver, exactly the same. You're getting more options the more money you go up. You're getting latest technologies, which everyone just follows. And the difference that makes, and this maybe boils down to the main question that people ask, newer, more expensive, which is often newer, doesn't particularly mean better. It can do, but in the most, it just doesn't. You'll see golfers using older equipment, cheaper equipment, more expensive equipment on tour, subject to their feels. Again, you play the biggest role in this. Don't be tricked by thinking the newest, the most expensive is the greatest. Of all the driver testing I've done, you have to go down below a certain tolerance of price before you do see it leveling out or even getting a little bit worse. But worse for who? For someone who doesn't want to spend that much and wouldn't play unless they bought the cheap driver, that cheap driver is better for them because they're now playing. What do you think? Come on, in the comments. More expensive? Does it mean better? Hit those comments up. I want to know what you think. What myth have I missed? In the comments down below. What's the latest piece of golf equipment you've bought? In the comments down below. While you're down there, make sure you're hitting that like button. It really helps the video. Remember, if you want to find out what launch monitor is best for your game, hit the video coming up on the right now to review all the launch monitors. It's an ultimate review. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button.